Welcome everybody to the South Hockey Network, live on YouTube, live from the campus of University of Notre Dame Compton Family Ice Arena, where the Fightin' Irish play their home games at the Division I NCAA level. We've got Game 4 of our quintuple header here for the Hoosier Cup, as the Providence Catholic Celtics of Illinois take on the North Allegheny Tigers of Pennsylvania. Dylan Ward here on the call alongside Gerard Boris. Tournament Director Jeff Morrow should be joining us here at some point, perhaps with one final interview, as the playoff picture is starting to form here at the Hoosier Cup. Providence Catholic actually playing their fourth game. They volunteered to play the fourth game because they were unable to find a 16th team here at the Hoosier Cup, as they win the face-off in green. Providence Catholic in green, going from left to right on your screen. North Allegheny in white, going from right to left. Unfortunately for all of you guys tuning in, hoping for some drama, this game will have no significance on the playoff picture here at the Hoosier Cup. North Allegheny has already been eliminated. They're the defending champions of this thing, won it last year over St. Edwards here at Compton Family Ice Arena, as another shot is stopped by the starting goaltender for North Allegheny, Drew Pompa, senior in net. On the other side for Providence Catholic, Drew Spencer, also a senior, gets the nod from head coach Nick Ichoncio. Providence Catholic still very much alive in this tournament. They have a record of 2-0-1, so 5 points. They have not lost in regulation. They've beaten St. Joseph's 4-1 in their first game, a shootout win over Central Catholic in their second game, and an overtime loss to St. Ignatius in their third game. If you're a Providence Catholic fan watching from home, that is not the St. Ignatius Wolfpack. That's the St. Ignatius Wildcats of Ohio, as this one deflects on net, and it's covered up once again by Drew Pompa. But since the Providence Catholic Celtics were gracious enough to offer to play the fourth game to fill out the final seeding for the tournament, this game is an exhibition for them, but it does count for North Allegheny. The only problem is North Allegheny is eliminated. So two teams just going at it for the love of the game. This long stretch pass missed Mitchell, and it's picked up by Henry Gagliardi. Providence moves it up ice. Rylan O'Sullivan, the junior, over the line, tried to get around 4 North Allegheny defenders. He did. Here's a shot. That one missed the net, and it's regained by the Tigers. They'll come up the other way. Joyce over center ice, tried to go to Mitchell waiting at the blue line, but it's forked out of there by Providence. And now sent all the way in. So the Celtics with the most points so far, they know they can't finish first with their final record of 2-0-1, because both teams 2-0, DeMatha and St. Edwards, will face off at 8:45 on Rink 2. The winner of that game will determine who moves on to the bracket as the likely number 1 seed. Hand pass stops play as we get another whistle. Just getting started in this one. Pennsylvania-Illinois matchup as the Tigers of North Allegheny take on the Celtics of Providence Catholic. In case you're wondering, Dallas Jesuit is currently leading the second place with a 2-1-0 record, 11 points per period. As that puck goes up and out of play again, 13:05 to go here in the first. Hope you found us okay on the South Hockey Network. Glad to be part of the Hoosier Cup coverage this year. Don't be shy, folks. Use the live chat. Love interacting with all of you people watching at home. So if you have any messages or comments or questions that you want to send our way, use the live chat and I'll read them out loud and even throw them up on the big screen so long as they're appropriate. Back down the other way. Late change, but in time to avoid a too many men call. Zach plays it to the far side. Providence Catholic last season at the junior varsity level advanced to the state championship game where they lost 2-0 to the Lake Forest Scouts. So a lot of players who made the jump from junior varsity to varsity this year have some good experience in these tournament settings. So they made the championship of a tournament at the highest level. Andrew Rodriguez over the line. Picking his pocket is Costa. He goes out to neutral ice. Christian Mark makes a hit into the boards, and Jacob Carson grabs it back for Providence. To the near side for Trent Reynolds. Taking it away is North Allegheny. Here's Mark in the slot. Over to the far side half boards. And down below the line. Costa, left point. Lets one rip. Nice block there by Andrew Rodriguez, getting his body in the way, the forward junior. Now Cedric Odie takes it to the far side corner. Providence will lift it out of the zone. And Mark will bring it back in. Mark trying to get around Trent Reynolds. He could not, and Odie will have to chase it back out to neutral ice and just fire it in. Sent down the other way. Giving chase is John Cardwell. But he can't touch the puck before it crosses the red line, and it's called icing against the Celtics. In case you're curious why North Allegheny is eliminated, the best they could do in this game is get all 5 points per period and finish with a record of 2-1. But entering this game, they have 4.5 points per period, and there are 3 2-1 teams already with 10. So the most they could get is 9.5, which would not surpass that mark in the top 4 standings. Now a nice move, a dipsy doodle around one, Nick Coveney. Unable to get a shot on goal as a result. And Mason Brando comes over the center ice red line. He'll backhand this one down into the zone. And it's grabbed by Allegheny. Joyce out to neutral ice, touched along to Shire. Centering pass, nice stick made by John Cardwell to send that one to the far side corner and break up the chance. Tigers keep pressuring. Here's Joyce with a shot. That one stopped by Spencer. Back up to the right point. Now Joyce left side. He'll let one go. That also is blocked by Cardwell. 5 minutes gone by. Still waiting for our first goal early on in this one. Dylan Ward on the call. Happy to be with you. If you're a Providence fan and you happen to recognize my voice, I've called this team a number of times over the years on the CCHL network, or South Hockey Network if they've played Glenbrook South, which I think they have a couple of times in the O'Grady Thanksgiving tournament. Joyce out to the neutral zone. Now Mitchell plays it out to neutral ice and takes a big hit by Ryan Sturr, nearly sent him into his own bench. Never got across or above the board stanchion, but either way, a nice hit and clean too. Now the referee gets in the way of that. Maybe a lucky break for North Allegheny as they had a late change, and it probably would have hit the skates of one of them. Could have resulted in a too many men call, but we stay 5-on-5 and scoreless. Now into the zone comes Ronan Gallagher. Comes out to neutral ice and is fired back in. Tigers have to tag up. Out of his net, Drew Spencer to settle it down. Back in Provi zone. Gagliardi, I should say. Now out to O'Sullivan. Sullivan over the line. It deflects right to a man. Here's a shot by Jamison Simonis, but it wouldn't go. Now behind the goal line, regained by Marcus Garcia. Pressuring down low is Simeonis. And it's gloved down by Providence. Nick Mercer. Just onside, Braden Rogers. Close play, but no whistle from the official. Braden Rogers over to the far side. Now we do have a delayed penalty called. It's going against North Allegheny, and a cross-check has been signaled by the official. We've got our first power play of the game. It belongs to Providence Catholic. You can see it right below the goal line, and he knew it. So having a seat for 2 minutes, Adam Bradley, and a power play for the Celtics incoming. Waiting to put the penalty on the board. Finally they do. 7:39 to go here in the first. This game flying by, not a lot of whistles, as Providence wins the faceoff on their power play, but a quick clear by the Tigers sends it all the way down. Way out of his net, Drew Spencer to fork it to the near side. Nick Coveney taken away as the Tigers look to make something happen shorthanded. Instead, it's brought back up ice. Mason Brando down near the goal line, centering pass. Nobody there to bank it home. Now far side half wall, up to Nick Coveney. High slot, here's a shot. That one blocked by the stick of Alex Costa. Right point, Coveney waits, fires a shot through a maze of bodies. And tracking that one down through a screen was Drew Pompa, the netminder for North Allegheny. We get a whistle. 6:56 to go here in the period, and 1:17 to go in the power play. See right there, he's just peeking to the left of those two guys tied up. Low slot, and able to make the save. Here's a slap shot off the face-off win by Gil Ayala. Now Carson. Back up to the point, Reynolds. Back to Carson, right circle. He tries a shot blocked by Costa again. Second shot block of this penalty kill for Costa, as this one sails wide off a deflection. Karkoska below the line. Now Rogers. Karkoska gets it back. Sends it to the Big Ten logo, Trent Reynolds. Down low, and another block made by North Allegheny. Right point. Slid across to Ayala. And they still can't clear. Reynolds keeps it alive at the blue line. Now maybe a 2-on-1 here developing right and close. Here's a doorstep chance. And just poking it wide was Braden Rogers, the junior. Now all the way out to neutral ice. Bizarre 2-on-1 that didn't start on a rush. Just found themselves in that position. Tail end of the power play here with 5 to go before Bradley is set free. He is now, he'll go to the bench, and we're back to 5-on-5, still scoreless. 9.5 minutes into the first period. That'll be an icing. 5:28 to go here in the opening frame. Dylan Ward on the call alongside Gerard Boris. We'll hear from Jeff Morrow, tournament director, here later on this broadcast. The tournament, again, would like to send a huge thank you out to the Providence Catholic Celtics for picking up this fourth game. Again, only their first 3 games of tournament play counted, where they finished with a record of 2-0-1. So whatever happens in this game will not affect their standings in one way or the other. Now O'Sullivan knocks it back down into North Allegheny territory. Joyce of the Tigers out to neutral ice. Providence gets it back on a high tip. Now they'll cycle back into their own zone. Aiden Flood down the right wing side, retrieved by Noah Joyce. And over to the far side, Anthony Lucas comes across the right wing. Keeping the puck, letting his teammates change. Far side bench. But it's taken back by Gil Ayala. One interesting note here of Compton Family Ice Arena, home of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish at the Division I NCAA level. The benches are on each side of the rink, so North Allegheny, the designated home team, occupies the far side bench, and the penalty box is on their side, which is an advantage. Providence Catholic on the near side of your screen. So when North Allegheny gets out of the box after serving a penalty, they can make the quick change that a lot of high school teams are used to, whereas Providence would have to skate all the way back NHL style. This one sent down for an icing against the Celtics. And that'll set up an offensive zone draw for the Tigers. 5:49 to go first period. 10th annual Hoosier Cup. First edition of this tournament to be held here in the month of November. After the first 9 were in February. But as Jeff Morrow has stated a couple times here on the network so far today, he decided to change the schedule because the leaves change in November. Fanning on one shot, but then getting a follow-up was North Allegheny. But making the save was Drew Spencer, and he hangs on for a whistle. Drew Spencer has made some good saves. As a matter of fact, both goaltenders have had solid first period so far. Rogers will fire this one in. No shots on goal are being recorded at this tournament. We do apologize for that. But right now, Providence Catholic, if I had to guess, has the lead. Here's a wraparound try. That one stopped by Pompa. Now to the near side half wall. It's forked out of the zone by Im and chased after by Nick Mercer, the sophomore. 3 sophomores on this Providence team, a whole lot of juniors. Only 5 seniors this year for Nick Ichancio and company to work with. This one played out and tipped along. Grabbed by Ayala, I should say. Now crashing the side of the net. That one's covered up by Spencer. I think we're still working on getting some music in the barn here at Compton Family Ice Arena. The game started here at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. It is now 6:48 Eastern here in South Bend, Indiana, local time. Now tripping up while sending it down was Mitch Piano. And the Tigers, all they could do was dump it in. Settling it down is Spencer below the goal line. Played out to neutral ice. Costa will fire it in. Spencer leaves it once again. Now down the other way for another icing against Providence. I think I spoke too soon earlier about not a lot of whistles here in the first period because the Celtics have iced it down 3 or 4 times already in the last 3 or so minutes. We're still waiting for our first goal. Between these two sides facing off, Providence Catholic of Illinois, North Allegheny of Pennsylvania. Providence Catholic has never won an Illinois state title. They made it to the championship in 2016 where they lost to New Trier Green, who is on an absolute tear in the state of Illinois right now. 3 state championships in a row as they look for a 4th this year, off to a good start as well. As for North Allegheny, 2-time Pennsylvania state champions, 2007 and 2013. North Allegheny, the 2025 Hoosier Cup champions. Again, we're in a transitional season at the Hoosier Cup. Since it used to be held in February, 2025 actually indicates last season. This will be the 25-26 tournament. Offside there against the Tigers. And next year will be 2026, and we'll go back to that single-year format. But the Tigers will not be able to defend their crown this year, as they have already been mathematically eliminated from this tournament. North Allegheny, a long-time participant here at the National Invitational Scholastic Showcase, whether that be here in South Bend, Indiana, or Jamestown, New York. Here's a shot, that one wide, and the rebound's picked back up by the Tigers. Ryan Sturr down below the line. Cardwell, penalty called against North Allegheny again, so the Celtics going to have another power play here as it's tied up and finally blown dead. High sticking is the call. Not gonna lie, folks, didn't see it in real time, but let's see what we caught on camera. And yep, that is a pretty easy call for the official to make. And Eddie Schur will take a seat for 2 minutes. Another power play for the Celtics. They're 0 for 1. This power play will continue over into the second period unless they score, which they try to there. Shot from the point is stopped by Pompa. Now it's Mason Brando. Up ice to Cardwell. Coming across the blue line, Cardwell dangles around a couple to the backhand, and he scores! Oh my goodness! Providence Catholic strikes on the power play, and if not the goal of the tournament so far, at the very least, the most impressive we've seen on the South Hockey Network today. My, oh my. How about that dipsy doodle from John Cardwell? Look at this, does it all by himself, coast to coast. Looking like Connor McDavid out there, splitting two defenders. And just for some added flair, a backhand finish, tucking it right between the right pad of Pompa and that left post. What a goal scored by the Celtics to take a 1-0 lead in the tail end of the first period. Boy, North Allegheny already eliminated, but if they were fighting for those points per period, how detrimental would that have been in the standings? Horn sounds on period number 1. We'll take a quick timeout here on the South Hockey Network. Don't go anywhere. Second period coming up after a short timeout. Welcome back to the South Hockey Network. Time for period number 2 between the Providence Catholic Celtics and North Allegheny Tigers. Dylan Ward, happy to have you hanging out with us here on this Sunday evening alongside Gerard Boris, our technical engineer. We are underway. North Allegheny in white going from left to right here in this period. Providence Catholic in the green and gold going from right to left. Providence leads 1-0 on a goal scored by John Cardwell on the power play. One of their 5 seniors lighting the lamp with the most impressive goal we've seen all day here at the Hoosier Cup. If you're just joining us late, rewind it a couple and watch that one again. Now miscue here leads to an odd man rush. Nick Mercer 2-on-0. He shoots, and the save is made by Drew Pompa. Now below the goal line. The next whistle will hand the headset over to Jeff Morrow as he comes into the broadcast booth and he gets ready to conduct an interview. Delayed offside there, it's dumped down. And this will be gloved down by Im. He takes a shot, that's blockered away by Spencer. Now up to the right point. Im, out to Mitchell, nice move. He'll take a shot, that one stopped. Now Providence comes the other way, again, next whistle. We'll turn it over to Jeff Morrow with a few guests from, I believe, St. Ignatius. And there is our next whistle for an icing. So, Jeff, take it away.
We're going to start off with Ryan Miyoshi of St. Ignatius. Hold on, I'm going to let him get set up here. Ryan, how are you?
Good, how are you?
And you're a junior at St. Ignatius, and you've been with the program for 3 years?
Yep.
Let's see. Oh, we're on camera. We're on candid camera. Okay. So, Ryan, you've had an illustrious time at St. Ignatius. You won the Governor's Cup here 2 years ago and the state championship in 2024. What's that ride been like?
I mean, it's been truly amazing. That 2024 team, we had a ton of seniors who graduated that year, so very new team. We're still looking to get on our feet and try to find our new identity, but it's been an amazing ride with a bunch of players that I'll remember forever.
So you're a champion forever in your life, not only winning the Hoosier Cup but a state champion. What are the leadership qualities that you learned from past teams?
Kind of just trying to get 1% better every single day. It's not about one day, though. Like, it's what you do over the whole season, and ultimately it's just working to be a much better team than you were at the start of the season is what makes state champions, and that's what we're going to try to do this year.
We talked a little bit about your educational career. You have aspirations to study finance and law, which I think is fantastic. I think you'll do very well. Who inspired you to do something like that, or is that something that comes from within?
My father is an investment banker, so I think he ultimately led me down that path.
I don't even know what that is, right? But I think it's terrific. And schools, we've talked about Michigan, Ohio State, maybe Notre Dame.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So you're happy to be here. What about the trip out here? What's maybe some memories of Notre Dame?
I think the team attending Mass, walking through the campus, it was beautiful, and I think that's a memory our team's going to hold for a really long time, certainly throughout the rest of the season.
And you were able to go to the Basilica and the Grotto.
Yep.
That's pretty moving. That's great. So, anyway, what would you like? You have a tough game today against St. Andrews Prep. What do you know about those guys?
We've seen their scores throughout the weekend. They look like a really strong team. So, yeah, we know they're going to be a tough opponent, but we're just going to come out and give it our best shot.
Yeah, you had a tough game against Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Any takeaways from that game?
Oh, yeah, certainly. That was kind of our first game of the season, so we had a lot to figure out, but yeah, we're definitely going to be looking at some of the mistakes we made and growing on them for this game.
One last question, Ryan. Playing for legendary coach that I've known Pat, for over 30 years. What's it like to play for a gentleman like that?
Oh, it's amazing. Coach is great at building the brotherhood, and I truly think we have the best team chemistry in Ohio. It's truly a brotherhood in and out of school, and it's ultimately what leads to the success of the program.
So if you get to the state finals this year, I want an email or a text from you to invite me, because I've never been to the Ohio State Championship, but I've heard that it's a tremendous experience in Columbus.
Oh, it's amazing. And nationwide, it's great.
So we want to wish you the best of luck for the rest of the tournament, and we'll see you in Jamestown in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
For the Governor's Cup. You guys have some fish to fry over there too as well.
Oh, certainly.
Thank you so much for your time, and good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
We're going to bring Pat O'Rourke in, and we want to wish Ryan the best of luck for the rest of the season. Go ahead. You can go through. We're here with Coach Pat O'Rourke. And Pat, I've known you for over 30 years. How many years at St. Ignatius?
I've been there since 1997, so whatever that is.
Wow.
That's 28, I think.
I haven't been married that long, or at least I have been. My wife is watching, I'm in trouble. But you've built quite a legacy there. The program with 8 state championships. You won the Governor's Cup a couple of years ago, I know. When we first talked, that you wanted to redeem your trip to Jamestown, and you came out here and you beat a very good Edina team in a memorable game. What does that mean to you to win here at Notre Dame?
Well, I couldn't think of anywhere better to win, because I was telling you before, our family loves Notre Dame. I grew up coming to football games here with my grandpa and my dad, and now I take my sons here to football or to hockey. Or a couple of years ago, the Blackhawks used to have their training camp here.
Oh, yeah.
We would come to that. We'd love that. I proposed to my wife at the Grotto.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so it's I would come here to watch a checkers tournament, but it's much more fun to come here and play hockey and compete with all the best teams from the region and see where we stack up.
So this facility, second to none, you look at it and we're blessed to have the opportunity to play here. What's it like to, you have a kid like Ryan, he was a 9th grader and he won the Hoosier Cup. You see a young man like that grow over the years.
Well, that's what makes it all worthwhile, is to see the kids go from what they are as freshmen to what they are when they walk across the stage at graduation. Ryden's the kind of guy that just represents everything that's good about our program. He's a very good student, well over a 4-point student. He's looking at a bunch of highly selective schools, but more importantly, he's a good kid. He's a good hockey player too, but he's just a great young man, great family. Those are the kind of guys that we hope come to St. Ignatius High School.
Yeah, it's about the person, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not about the hockey player.
No, because the hockey career ends, not that, don't tell the kids, but not that many years away.
Well, I have one last request from you. It's great for you to come, and thank you so much for bringing your program here. A couple of guys down the street from you, U.S., they're hoping that you could pull off a victory night. So if you could help them out, I'd really appreciate it.
We will do our best.
Andy's a little nervous right now. So if you could help out the guy from U.S., I'd appreciate it.
Andy, he's one of the good ones. I consider us friends, so we'll do our best. It's a tough task at hand, but that's another reason we come here. Like you said, the facilities are beautiful. The kids are walking around in awe. We went to the game the other night and saw Michigan State, #1 team in the country, and Notre Dame's got a great program. So we're happy to be here. We thank you for inviting us. We'll come back anytime, any year. It's just such a special place, we'll try to help Andy out if we can.
So one last thing. I remember when I first met you, we were in Meadville many years ago, and they had the parent room up there with the little buffet they used to put on, and we'd sit and talk. And you played a game in that tournament, I remember. It was overtime or shootout, and it was against Sylvania Northview, and you went on to play them in the state championship. And after 8 periods, what was that like to be considered co-state champion?
Well, I'm not over it yet, Jeff, but thank you for picking at that scale. No, I mean, much like in this tournament, we made our own bed. We had plenty of chances to win that game, and we didn't convert. So after 7 overtimes, the medical people, I guess, said, it was too dangerous. Yeah, so we only have ourselves to blame for, we had like 100 shots on that.
Well,
or the gang that couldn't shoot straight that day, but.
The one life lesson I had a young son, and he's now 26, and we made it to the state final twice, and we didn't get it done. And you can sit and look in the mirror, and I said, Jamie, always look back on that breakaway you had where you tried to go forehand backhand, and the kid that stopped you just was a better goaltender that day. And you left that building that day. You left everything on the ice, and you did the very best you could.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not good enough. But, buddy, you've done it 8 times in Ohio, and I wish you the best of luck. I'm rooting for you. You're one of my favorite people to watch coach. I love watching your teams play. I know they're always going to give their best, and they're going to represent their school and their community. So thank you so much for your service to this game.
Thank you, Jeff. I love being with you and at these tournaments, and we're just so very grateful to you.
Well, good luck tonight, and we wish you the best.
Thank you.
We'll see you in Jamestown in about a month.
You got it.
Maybe tomorrow if you pull something in the miracle off here.
We're going to try to pull a rabbit out of a hat tonight.
Yeah. That's a big rabbit.
Yeah, no,
Dylan will tell you. But thank you so much for your time. Good luck tonight, and we'll see you down the road.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks so much.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Dylan, I got to tell you, I've done many interviews over the years, and that was a very special interview with Pat O'Rourke. Pat's been with the program since 1997 for St. Ignatius. The program's won 8 state championships in Ohio. He's truly a gentleman, has roots here at Notre Dame, and one of his favorite memories in hockey was winning this tournament. So 2 years ago, as you could see, like when Glenbrook South won it here, it's pretty special.
Yeah, I mean, this tournament is an extremely special one to win. There's lots of talent here at the National Invitational Scholastic Showcase, whether that be here in South Bend, in Jamestown, or anywhere else. You always seem to get some pretty high-level teams, Jeff, and it's a tough tournament to win, and the champion is always well-deserved because of the path they had to go through.
Well, here's what I could tell you. The Celtics of Providence Catholic have clinched a spot in tomorrow's semifinal.
I saw that, and I believe my understanding is North Allegheny is out.
I think so.
Because there were a couple teams with 10 points per period, and they only had 4.5 coming into this one, so the best they could do is 9.5, and they lost the first period. Jeff, I don't know if you saw that first period goal, by the way, as we have another penalty added to the existing minor against the Celtics, this one for slashing against the Tigers, and Costa will make a trip to the box. So we'll have some 4-on-4 hockey. You don't see that all the time in high school hockey, Jeff, because of the coincidental minors.
Well, you do in this tournament. If you get to overtime, it's 4-on-4 sudden death, Dylan.
Okay, not 3-on-3, huh?
4-on-4 sudden death overtime.
And the playoffs are 5-on-5.
5-on-5 for 10 minutes.
2 periods of that, right? And then a shootout?
North Allegheny's well familiar with that, doing it against Edina 2 years ago and losing in the last minute and a half. So some of these...
Was that in the championship or the semifinal?
Yes, sir. That was the championship. It went 2 overtimes, and Edina ended it.
Wow.
With 1:23 left, I believe. And, of course, North Allegheny came back and atoned for it by winning the championship a year ago. But many of the same kids you see on the ice today.
And if Providence Catholic returns next year, you're going to see a lot of the same kids. They only have 5 seniors. As this one deflects back out to the neutral zone, 4-on-4 hockey for another 1:34.
I'll tell you one thing that Providence is blessed with. They have a family affair going down on the bench with the Achoncio family.
Here's Diamond with a shot. That one blocked.
Nick his son Ryan was one of the finest goaltenders I've seen. They beat New Trier in a game down at Darien Sportsplex. I'm going back 10 years ago. It was one of the most memorable games I could ever remember.
This one's iced down with still 5 seconds left on the 4-on-4. Jeff, only one goal in this game. I have a question for you. Did you see the goal scored?
I did not. I was unavoidably detained in the lobby.
Okay, Jeff. Well, in between periods, I'm going to have to pull up the clip because it's easily the best goal we've seen in the broadcast booth so far today, and probably the best goal of the tournament so far, if I had to bet.
It's a highlight reel.
Yeah, it was a coast-to-coast rush, and the goal scorer, John Cardwell, split 2 defenders, went to his backhand. It was a beauty.
Sounds like a Mario Lemieux goal to me.
There you go. Battle for the puck in the corner. The penalty against Providence is now over. So they're on a power play for another 20 seconds here. There's the goal scorer, Cardwell. Goes down below the goal line, back out to the right circle. Touched up high. Brando. Back over to Coveney. Brando to Coveney. Those two play catch. Here's a shot. That one blocked. Right in the way was Nate Fritz, and he will clear that. Fritz, sophomore defenseman. And the power play has come to an end, so we're back to 5-on-5 full strength. And a early change there, and I believe they're going to get North Allegheny for too many. And delayed penalty going against the Tigers. And finally they possess the puck.
The one thing
interference will actually be the penalty. I thought that was too many men on the ice, Jeff. It was hard to tell. You can scooch over to see this replay if you want. So you got 1, 2, and the third guy comes off.
Yeah, that could have been too many.
Makes contact with the puck. I just don't know if there was...
Looked like a meeting of the minds at the red line. The one thing that I'm really very impressed with overall, I think some of these teams, this is their first games of the tournament. Yesterday was St. Ignatius' first game. And for them to come out here and play the way they're playing at this point in the season is pretty remarkable.
Yeah, no kidding. I know a lot of teams will start late. I believe St. Ignatius is also unfortunately eliminated at this point in time.
Yes.
With a 1-1 record and what I believe to be 3 period points.
And you missed the interview. I said, will you help your brethren from university school out? And he said, we're going to do our very best. And with Pat O'Rourke, I have no doubt. He's a terrific coach.
All right, so another power play goes the way of the Celtics. They scored their lone goal on the power play.
One thing you want to
Now a timeout has been called by North Allegheny. Or no, not a timeout, just a second penalty for perhaps unsportsmanlike conduct.
So we're going to have 5-on-3 or 4-on-3?
5-on-3, it looks like, for a full 2 minutes. Well, actually, the unsportsmanlike penalty goes on the board as 1:30, but now they take it back. I think that was just a mistake. And, yeah, there it is, 2 minutes. So a massive opportunity for the Celtics to add 1, maybe 2. Not often you see 2-man advantage for the entire 2-minute set. This pass across, Reynolds, fanned on his shot, and a big clear there by Eddie Shearer.
One thing that we didn't talk about, this is Providence's 4th game, which is a unique situation for them. I'm sure Coach Nick is getting his guys to be ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, they're going to play a minimum of 5 games now that we know they've clinched a spot. Still waiting to figure out which seed they will be.
Who's who?
Yeah. They know they won't be the 1 seed.
Yeah, they can't be the 1 seed.
Right.
Because somebody out of that DeMatha St. Ed's game.
Shearer picks the pocket of 1, tries for a shorthanded chance on the 2-man short.
Celtics need to get moving up into the zone here.
Now this is Rodriguez crashing the net. Held on to by the goaltender, Pompa.
And here's Justin Glock's chance with North Allegheny. He knows that they're not going to advance. but he's given some younger players an opportunity to play in tough situations. And this will help them down the road in their development. I'd give them a lot of credit.
Playing against a Providence team who's playing their 4th game. Again, it doesn't count for or against their record, whatever the result of this game is. Here's Zach. Gets it back. Backhands it down low. Cardwell. Back up to Zach. He fires away. Save made by the pad. Rebound, they score. It's on the follow-up. And it's 2-0 Celtics with 2 power play goals tonight.
Well, they cash in. It took a little time to get the puck in the zone and get it set up, but a nice rebound play, and he just made no mistake. That was a good through the 5 hole.
You're going to see the behind the net cam here. Pompa with a good save. Allowed just enough of a rebound for that to be tapped home. So Nick Coveney, the sophomore, lights the lamp. And because of the 2-man advantage, Celtics will remain on a 5-on-4 power play for the remainder of the time. We're sub 1 minute here in the second period of game number 4 out of 5 in a row broadcasted live here for you. Coveney, who just scored, try to get it down low. Now it's picked up left circle. Cardwell has some time. He'll go back down to Coveney. Slides it across. Looks like an open net. What a save made there by Pompa. Back down the other way. This one picked up by Coveney. 20 seconds remaining in the period. He's over the line, left wing side. What a move. Coveney couldn't follow up that puck. Now, meanwhile, fresh out of the box, looking for the breakaway pass, and not going to get it is Dorenzo. It goes right on net, and 8.1 remains on the clock here in the middle frame. So the Tigers limit the damage on the 2-minute 5-on-3 to just 1 goal allowed. Could be worse, and they're still very much in this game. Looking for a win to take home and a winning record here at the Hoosier Cup. That'll do it. 30 minutes in the books, and 1 period remains between these 2 teams from Illinois and Pennsylvania as they will head to the locker rooms.
Good.
Providence Catholic looking to make it 4 games with an undefeated record, at least in regulation.
Good job by the linesman there to separate a couple players that were yapping to each other.
You got to take control of this game. And, you know, Jeff, and especially in a game that, you know, doesn't necessarily matter in terms of the standings for either team, you just don't want it to get ugly.
Yeah, no question.
All right, that'll send us into our intermission. Don't go anywhere. We've got the 3rd period coming up. Jeff, looks like you want to add something before we mute.
So the scenarios at this point are St. Andrews with a win will move on.
Yeah, got that. Providence is already in.
DeMatha and St. Edwards, the winner of that game moves on.
Jesuit Dallas stands as the current best 2-1 team with 11 points per period.
But the only option is if that game with DeMatha and St. Ed's goes to overtime, it eliminates the 2-1s. If St. Andrews is unsuccessful.
Well, let me ask you this question. Say St. Edwards or DeMatha, one of them win in regulation, and then St. Andrews wins. That would mean 2 teams are 3-0.
Right.
And then Providence is 2-0-1, and then the next best 2-1 team.
2-1. So then you have a bunch of teams tied. It would be Jesuit Dallas because of the points. The head-to-head gets thrown out, and it would go to the points per period.
All right, well, we'll check in on all those scenarios as the night progresses.
So if your head's not spinning on that one, Dylan, it's time to go to O'Rourke's and get some French onion soup.
Yeah, everyone at home got that. All right, we're going to sign off. Don't go anywhere. 3rd period will begin in about 10-15 minutes right here on the South Hockey Network. Welcome back to the South Hockey Network. Third period incoming between the North Allegheny Tigers and the Providence Catholic Celtics. Celtics lead 2-0 with a pair of power play goals scored by John Cardwell and Nick Coveney. My name is Dylan Ward alongside Jeff Morrow and Gerard Boris, our technical engineer. We're just going to recap these scenarios for you one more time. Providence, so far, is the only team that has mathematically clinched their spot in the semifinals tomorrow morning. Again, this is their fourth game of the tournament, which they volunteered to play. Hats off to them for that. It won't count for or against them. And we've got a couple teams that are 2-0, actually 3 teams that are 2-0. 2 of them are going to play each other, St. Edward's and DeMatha. So whoever wins that game in any fashion will secure their spot as well. That'll be on Rink 2 at 8:45 p.m. Unfortunately, we don't have that one for you live on air. I wish we did.
Well, we're going to have some on-site reporting by Bobby V. He's going to give us the updates as they happen.
All right, St. Andrews also 2-0. They'll take on St. Ignatius. As soon as this one's done on Rink 1, we'll have that game for you. Also, in case it comes down to some of the 2-1 teams, Jesuit Dallas does hold the tiebreaker if a 2-1-0 team is in a spot where they could be one of those top seeds. But in order for that to happen,
has
St.
to
Andrews,
be a regulation loss.
Right.
And that would add another one to the 2-1-0 group.
Exactly. That's a good point.
And you know, if it's
so, I think Jesuit Dallas is in good shape.
Yeah, but if it's DeMatha and they win 4 points, they knock Jesuit Dallas out.
Yeah, that's a good point.
No, they can't. If they get 4 points, they would have won the games. So they'd have to lose the game. Jesuit's sitting pretty nice, Dylan.
Yeah, it's maybe some Jesuit Dallas fans watching the action here on YouTube to see what's going on. St. Joseph's University School still technically mathematically alive, but they're going to need some major help.
I told them to go to O'Rourke's and get some French onion soup, but don't worry about it.
Well, Jeff, that'll help. Maybe
well,
not in the tournament, but
yeah, if they won't catch a cold then. They had a little cup of soup, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
North Allegheny, they need a lot of help. They need.
Actually, I think it's over for them, no matter
think you're
what.
right.
Especially because they came into this one with 4.5 points per period. They can get an absolute maximum of 3 because they lost the first 2 periods of this game. So North Allegheny's out. Providence Catholic is in. This game will not affect Providence's seed, though. We're ready to drop the puck here in period number 3. Providence in green, going from left to right on your screen, and North Allegheny in white, going from right to left. While this game, technically at this point, Jeff, is an exhibition, we hinted at it earlier in this day of broadcasting that, you know, these guys don't care. I mean, they care that they're out of the tournament, but at the same time, you know, they're not going to mail it in. They're going to try and win this thing.
When you look at the Providence uniforms, what team does that resemble professionally?
A team that no longer exists, I'll tell you that.
Okay, here we go. Dylan, you're on the money. Who is it?
Minnesota North Stars, baby.
Nope.
No?
No.
Oh,
No.
You're talking about the California Seals?
Nope.
Okay, hold on. A former NHL team?
Nope.
Really?
But a professional hockey team.
All right, you're going to have to tell me then.
The Chicago Cougars of the WHA.
Ah, well, the Chicago Cougars actually still do exist, but at the junior level.
I thought you were going to say not at the hockey level.
No. Yeah, but yeah, it's a good pickup by you, Jeff. Although I'm not wrong about the North Stars.
They look pretty close to the North Stars.
Same colors anyway. Here's one of the goal scorers tonight, Nick Coveney. Gets it to the other. Here's a shot and a goal! His second of the game. John Cardwell makes it 3-0 Celtics.
And if you're Coach Dick from Providence, you're looking at this and saying, hey, we might have found a goal-scoring touch that's going to lead us to promised land. What do you think about that? Cardwell with 2 goals tonight, 2 pretty nice goals.
Yeah, first one was coast to coast. This one was somewhat the same. You're going to get a look at the Providence bench reaction to this shot. Here's Nick Ichancio right above the E in Notre Dame. And the boys get up in celebration for that one.
3-0.
So, Jeff, again, we've talked about it a couple times. It doesn't count for the record, but when you look at the record of Providence Catholic, not standings-wise, they're looking at a potential 3-0-1 in this tournament. Again, that doesn't impact the standings. The record is finalized at 2-0-1, but still, if they can hold on to this one, 4 games played against some of these top teams and no regulation losses, their
Pretty
lone loss
impressive.
came in a shootout. Of course, this game not over. This one tipped ahead at the blue line. And it's grabbed by Nicholas Pasquale. Down to Cedric Odie. Grabbed back by Providence. Gavin Lass can't clear the zone. It's touched back deep. Now in the slot, here's Garcia with a shot, and making the block was Gil Ayala. Now the other direction come the Celtics over the line. Here's a shot, and that didn't miss the left post by much. Drew Pompa still in net for the Tigers. Drew Spencer still in net for the Celtics as we've got a battle of the Drews between the pipes. This will be fired in by Ayala. Delayed offside, so the Celtics do have to tag up there. 2.5 gone by here in the third period. This one played off the far side half wall. Nick Mercer couldn't get that one ahead. It'll be iced down by the Tigers, and it becomes an icing against them. Providence with an offensive zone face-off incoming.
Well, I think if you're Providence, you want to keep the ball rolling into tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
So
I would think so.
Let's keep playing 4 lines, keep skating shifts, and use this as a warm-up and go back and get a nice sleep for the night and be ready for the semi.
Semifinals tomorrow morning, 2 versus 3. Puck drops at 8:15 on rink 2. Penalty called by the ref. And North Allegheny with perhaps some life as they'll head to the power play.
Yeah, and if you're Justin Glock, you're trying to get something established. They have a game coming up this week on Thursday night. They want to keep their momentum going into the season. They're in quite a battle with Peters Township and Central Catholic, who we saw earlier, for the 2, 3, and 4 seeds of the PIHL playoffs. And it's not even the first half of the season. So they have to mind what they're doing as well.
Midway through the month of November. You know, Jeff, whether it be NHL or any other league, especially at the high school levels, I've always said, once you hit Thanksgiving, that's when you can really start to look at the records and figure out which teams, you know, are actually good versus which teams may have just had a hot start to the season. You know, especially in the NHL. I look at the standings every Thanksgiving Day, and it usually ends up being pretty close to the final playoff picture.
Oh, wow.
Guess who's above the playoff line right now? Chicago Blackhawks and the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yes, sir.
Both of our 2 beloved teams.
And I want to tell you, this young Dan Muse that's coach of the Penguins, he's impressive. He's built quite a structure with, you have a veteran Hall of Famer like Crosby and Malkin, and then you have all these young 18 and 20-year-olds. What a job he's done building structure in that team. The big winners today, 4-0. And Murashov,
in Sweden as well.
Yeah, they're in Sweden. But Murashov, the Russian goaltender, with a shutout victory, his first shutout in the NHL. What a bright bulb he is for the Penguins. And Kyle Dubas, who was Toronto Maple Leafs general manager, is doing a heck of a job filling the lineup for Pittsburgh. So they're going to be heard from before this season. And Chicago doing the same thing.
Yeah, the Blackhawks look great. Lots of young talent starting to come to fruition. Connor Bedard, one of the league leaders in points.
I had the opportunity to see Bedard in his first NHL game score a goal. It was
You were there?
Fantastic. What a talent.
That was a big comeback win for the Hawks, I remember. The Penguins up 2-0 before the Hawks won 3-2. I'm not mistaken, the game winner in that one was scored by Jason Dickinson.
Wow, you have a memory.
Well, that was
I didn't even know that Jason Dickinson exists. Is he still playing for the Hawks?
Yeah, he's injured right now, but he's on the team. Not much going right for the Tigers here on this power play.
What I'll tell you about Bedard that makes him special is how he changes the angle when he shoots.
Yeah,
it's phenomenal.
Every shot he takes just seems to surprise the opposing netminders as Horniak knocks a man into the near side corner boards. Jacob Carson. Horniak now gets it. Kept alive at the blue line by Piano. Now Pasquale. Back for Horniak. Out to the neutral zone for Ronan Gallagher. He's across, delayed offside. North Allegheny just now realizing it. Actually, Gallagher doesn't realize it, so the whistle will go.
And that'll take it all the way down into the Celtics offensive zone, I believe.
In most cases, I think you're right, and I believe that is going to be the case. Maybe not.
No, one zone. Okay.
9:37 to go here in the third period. Providence Catholic leading 3-0. 2 goals by John Cardwell, 1 from Nick Coveney. 2 power play goals as well, helping the Celtics to this 3-0 advantage. And Drew Spencer has been perfect between the pipes, wearing the green sweater. Missed hit down in the far side corner. This one takes a deflection, hits the high glass. Now near side half board. This one's centered. Played down to the left side. Here's Reynolds. Now up to Costa. Up to Gallagher. It's this one ahead. Gallagher over the line. Left wing side. He centers it. Looking for his man Mark, but it never got to him. Missed pass will result in an icing against the Celtics. 8:43 to go here in the third. Dylan Ward alongside Jeff Morrow. Happy to have you hanging out with us here on this Sunday night. Feels like a Saturday, but because of the format of this tournament, the championship rounds will be played on Monday. So, Jeff, not only are these boys playing to reach the semifinal, they're playing for a day off school tomorrow.
Absolutely. And I feel like this is Ferris Bueller's day off. And we're going to go to a Red Wings game in Detroit. Bobby V had his Red Wing jersey on the other night.
I saw him with his Rangers hat on. I know he rocked the Sabres gear in Jamestown. I got to ask you, who is his favorite team? Is it the Penguins?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think it's the Florida Panthers, to be honest.
Oh, wow. How about that? Lifelong Florida Panthers fan for the last 2 years.
All right.
Mason Brando centers it. Here's a shot. That one hit the post. Looking for his second goal was Nick Coveney to join John Cardwell. But that one drew iron. You probably heard the ting up here through our mics.
In Pittsburgh, we call that Big Ben.
Oh, yeah?
That's what legendary broadcaster Mike Lang used to say. Big Ben strikes one. Uh-oh, here you go.
Now a steal. Here's another shot. Big save made by Drew Pompa. Jeff, let's take another look at that post shot. We're going to get both angles, main cam and the net cam. Now that one just completely struck. Big Ben strikes one. I like it. Wow, right on the corner too. Here's Mitchell.
And Mitchell's a special player for North Allegheny.
Well, he's all the way to the net.
He scored the goal in the championship game last year.
I believe that final score was 2-0, Jeff.
Yes, sir. And M, number 71, scored the insurance goal. So a couple of former champions of the Hoosier Cup on the ice right now for NA.
Rylan O'Sullivan over the line, tried to center it, but it's knocked away by Odie. Here he comes over the line, left wing side, has a couple men to beat. Now Mitchell. Down to Mitchell below the goal line, goes to the far side corner. Backhanded up ice, but not out. And not out either there. Sends it back deep for Mitchell. But now finally they'll get it up and out of the zone, but also out of play right into the bench.
So if you're Dick Achantio, you have two goaltenders to use, and this guy pitches a shutout today. Do you think about playing him in the semis tomorrow?
I just might, but Jeff, I know you're new to the broadcasting booth, but you just used a bad word that starts with an S.
Shutout.
Yeah, there it is again. You don't want to jinx it for the goaltender, but you never know. Not sure if you're a superstitious guy or not.
Well, I did it in the last game because I said the kid from US is going to have a shutout, and he did.
And he did. So let's see if you can make it 2 for 2 on those predictions. Besides the 2-1 game to kick us off earlier between St. Mary's and St. Andrews, it's been a couple lopsided scores here on the South Hockey Network. We saw the St. Joseph's Huskies win 5-1. Last game, University School 4-0. Celtics leading 3-0 right now against the Tigers. Looking forward to some competitive action tomorrow between some of the top teams here at the tourney. Now ahead, Garcia with a shot, and he scores! And the Tigers have life. They make it a 2-goal game.
You have to have fun, Dylan. The game's meaningless, but let's give it some meaning.
Why not, right? Let's get some OT. And listen, you know, full transparency. I cover the Illinois teams back at home, high school hockey. I know the Celtics team, and I'd love to root for them as my home state representative here at the Hoosier Cup, but the game doesn't matter. So let's see some OT. Don't worry, I'll be unbiased tomorrow if I am broadcasting one of the Providence games. They're looking to answer back. Here's a shot, and they do just that. Jacob Carson buries one,
well,
and that didn't take long at all.
That'll be enough of that, Dylan.
Yep. Exactly
that
right,
OT
Jeff.
talk,
yeah,
like shutout talk.
Yep.
They're making us look bad, these kids.
That'll be unassisted. So Jacob Carson becomes the third Celtic to score. John Cardwell with 2, Nick Coveney with 1, and Carson with 1. And Garcia with the lone goal for the Tigers. We've reached the final 5 minutes of period number 3. We've got one more game for you in this quintuple header. Hope you've been enjoying our coverage of the 2025-26 Hoosier Cup here in South Bend, Indiana on the campus of Notre Dame.
Don't tell Eddie Shear the skates at the Mouse. He's laying out guys look at the first of the month.
He's off the rebound. This one sent wide. North Allegheny knows this is their final 4 minutes, at least of regulation here at the Hoosier Cup this year. Zach comes across, right wing side, takes a shot, glove stop made by Costa.
Somewhere along the line, I think Coach Andrew Cease, the former coach of North Allegheny that won the Hoosier Cup last year, probably is watching along with Mike Magnato. We want to send a shout out to those guys if they're watching. And you made North Allegheny proud a year ago with the Hoosier Cup. So thanks, guys.
Well, gentlemen, if you are watching, let us know by leaving a chat in the chat room. Love to hear your thoughts on the game. This one poked out Mitchell, trying to spring ahead to start a 2-on-1 with Im, but didn't work out. Now Im centers it, Odie with a shot, and a big save made there by Drew Spencer.
Now, the one thing, if you're the Celtics, you got to be, and I'm sure Coach Nick has told these guys, if you get suspended from this game, you don't play tomorrow. So you got to mind that. Be smart.
And
Play the last couple minutes out. And
just because it doesn't count for their record, those penalties definitely do count.
they carry.
There will be a penalty against Gil Ayala, the junior defenseman. Goes to the box, so North Allegheny's on the power play. Still some time left here to work with.
4 minutes. There's plenty of time.
Still timeout, unused. Drop of the puck is won by the Tigers. Here's Odie, left point. Goes across for Alex Costa. Costa cuts low, takes a shot looking for the 5-hole of Spencer. Couldn't find it. Now Costa goes back up to the right point for Mitchell. Off the far boards down to Costa again. Slides it over to the left side. Odie missed his man. He wanted to get that one back to Joey Mitchell. But instead they have to chase it all the way out. Odie knocks it in. Sent out of the zone once again. And this is Eddie Shearer. Shearer, tons of speed out there. But he gets bodied by Henry Gagliardi. Offside call by the linesman, near side. 3:05 to go here in the third. 1:11 to go in the power play.
But if I'm Justin Glock from the North Allegheny, I'm watching a couple of things here. The effort in his players, being down 4-1, is pretty good. And you want to see the non-quit, especially if you're a leader like Shear on this team, or Costa, big number 81, or Mitchell. Those guys are leaders. And there's 20 guys on that bench over there that are watching what's going on here. It's a good sign.
You can see St. Andrews and St. Ignatius players warming up. They'll be on this sheet next. Here's Hornia. Over the line, left wing side. Gets around a man, centers it, nobody there. Now to the right circle, sent across. And Garcia plays it down low. Brady Horniak, the junior forward. Now Garcia. Back up to Pasquale. Back down low for Garcia. Touches it down to the corner, Horniak. Pasquale, good puck movement here. Horniak eventually gets up high to Lucas. He turns around, fires a shot, deflected on its way, but goes high of the net. No sign of the Tigers pulling their goalie here, down by 3 goals.
Oh, I don't think you're going to see that, Dylan.
Nope. Now this one brought up ice. Centering pass didn't work. Power play is over, and it's a 3-on-1 for the Celtics. Ayala goes to the left side for Cardwell. Cardwell on hat trick watch. He's got 2 goals. Number 21 in green.
Dangerous play there. He's going to get number 71 from North Allegheny. That was kind of an inadvertent play, but
Kyle Im.
Good call by the referee.
Here it is. And yeah, almost just a
inadvertent collision, but a dangerous one at that.
Right.
We don't want to see anybody getting hurt at this stage.
So North Allegheny will wrap this Hoosier Cup up shorthanded for the last minute 28 of this one. 21 for the Celtics. John Cardwell is on the ice. Scored a power play goal earlier. Here he goes for the hat trick. That one blocked. Keeps it in the zone for just a moment, but now NA will bring it out. Backhand this one down. Odie collides with the man in the corner.
Dylan,
Cardwell.
how much time's left?
1 minute to play in the third period, Jeff. 1 minute. Thanks for asking. So our guy doing music tomorrow, is he going to do PA as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm trusting you that that's going to happen, Jeff. Here's a shot and a goal, top left corner. What a shot. Trent Reynolds makes it 5-1 on the power play. The Celtics score their 3rd power play goal of this evening.
Could that be called Reynolds rap?
Why not? That just about wraps up the game with 40 seconds to go. What a beauty that was. So 5-1 the score. And now they speak about it at the penalty box. Looks like Costa's going to have a seat for what I presume to be unsportsmanlike conduct. And so the Celtics are going to head right back to the power play.
Maybe a 10-minute misconduct, too. No, there's 81, 2 minutes.
So one of our last face-offs here tonight, if not the last. Looks like the North Allegheny bench, Justin Glock, wants some kind of explanation.
And he's understandable there. Drop the puck and let's move on our way here.
So 5-on-4 to close it out.
Pretty impressive performance by Providence, to be honest with you.
No kidding. Again, their record already finalized at 2-0-1, but for all intents and purposes, going to finish the preliminaries 3-0-1.
My prediction is they're going to be the 3rd seed.
All right, lock that in. Jeff's prediction. We know they can't be the 1st seed.
I'm just assuming that the Matha St. Ed's game does not go to overtime.
That'll be on Rink 2 at 8:45. If you're itching to watch that one, there is a live barn feed at this rink. Unfortunately, we'll be here at Rink 1 covering the St. Andrews versus St. Ignatius game, which we hope you tune in. That's not a meaningless game. St. Ignatius is out, but St. Andrews fighting for that final playoff spot. 9.6 seconds here as they drop the puck. It's fought for, 50-50 battle.
I'll try to make it up for the 3rd for the next one because a couple of administrative duty.
Now look out here. After the horn sounds to end the game, a scrum, and the goaltender Spencer gets involved. The refs
nice job.
Do a good job of quickly
Nice job by
clearing it
the
up.
officials to break that up. You don't need any suspensions on either side. Let's shake hands.
The Celtics on fire right now here at the Hoosier Cup. They're on to the semifinals. They'll await to see which seed and therefore which rink they will play on tomorrow morning. But they know they can book one more night in the hotel here in South Bend. Teams will shake hands at center ice with the line leaders being each netminder. And Jeff, we've got one more game for you here on the Sunday slate from the Hoosier Cup. St. Andrews and St. Ignatius here on Rink 1. Looking forward to that one. Jeff, any final thoughts before we sign off?
Well, I think people watching in, we should know something more in the next hour or two as far as the final seeds. So stay tuned. Please log on to pahockey.net because we'll have all the final results and we'll have the matchups for tomorrow, probably by 10:30 tonight. So just a couple of public service announcements. I'm going to jump in and get some administrative stuff done and hopefully join you for the 3rd for the St. Andrews St. Ignatius game.
Okay, Jeff, sounds like a plan to me. So for my partner, Jeff Morrow, our technical engineer, Gerard Boris, my name is Dylan Ward, saying it has been exactly 7 hours since we first went live, and we've got more for you. St. Andrews and St. Ignatius coming right up for our 5th and final game of this marathon from Compton Family Ice Arena.